Dear students, welcome back after a long time. So as you can see here, there is a fancy car waiting, right? Why do I have this picture right here? I'm sure many of you love cars. And maybe some of you have seen this car and this lady over here from Facebook or Instagram, right? She gives professional reviews of fancy cars on the internet. Now, why do I have this picture over here? It's because of this. So in today's class, I'm going to discuss all the different training methods that we can use in an office setting using the example of a high-speed racer. Actually, do not worry, I'm not going to use only this example. I'm obviously going to use relevant business examples of trainings as well. However, the reason I'm using this method or this example is basically according to my opinion. Through this example of a high-speed racer, I can very easily explain all the different concepts and methods of training in a very easy way. So I can give you all the examples of different kinds of training and their pros and cons with this one single case of a high-speed racer. You will obviously get to see the benefits of using this example very soon. Do not worry about it for the moment. So yes, in this class, we are going to discuss training and developing employees, which is chapter 8 in your book. Now, I am going to use this racing car and the racer example throughout the class, okay? However, before I go into the details of this example and start explaining different types of training, I want to start with a different concept, which is employee orientation or employee onboarding. Again, employee orientation or employee onboarding. What do we mean by this term? Now, before I start explaining this concept, I'm sure all of you have heard of the word orientation in your life. Why? Because every single person of you here has gone through this orientation process. Can you guess what I'm referring to? Yes, this one. So all of you have gone through this student orientation program, right? So this is the first time when you are in Brack University, all right? I guess all of you remember that. So this picture is from Freshers Orientation Summer 2019. This is the one I could find over the internet. But I'm sure all of you have gone through this orientation program. Now, what happened here basically, you were introduced to the different aspects of Brack University. So Brack University's mission, Brack University's vision, and you were also briefly explained about your department. So if you are in BBA, in your BBA orientation program, you are explained about different aspects of the BBA program. If you are from CSE, so explanations were from CSE department and so on. So whatever your department was, you got a lot of information on that on your orientation day. And finally, maybe on that day, some of you may have made a few friends. So yes, this is an orientation program. So you are basically welcomed to Brack University through your student orientation program. So exactly sort of the same thing happens in an orientation program in an office. So this orientation program is for students, so that's why it's called student orientation program. And similarly, in an office setting, the orientation program organized for the employees are called employee orientation program. So basically, in that orientation program, a new employee is welcomed to the team, right? So again, the new employee is welcomed to the team through the employee orientation program. Now, if I take a look at the formal definition, what happens in an orientation program? This is the formal definition. Employee orientation or onboarding provides new employees with the basic background information, such as computer passwords and company rules. And also, ideally, the orientation program should also help them start becoming emotionally attached to and engaged in the firm. So the main purpose of an employee orientation program is again to give you a basic background information about your company and about your team, and also to make you some sort of emotionally attached to the company or the firm, just like as it happens in a student orientation program. Now, obviously, there are some other important details about an employee orientation program. Many of it is self-explanatory, so it's not very difficult to understand. Even then, I'm going to take you through some specific examples of the benefits or the purpose of employee orientation program. So, what are the purpose of employee orientation program here? Here comes number one purpose. Make the new employee feel welcome and at home and part of the team. So yes, in an orientation program, we basically welcome the employee and try to make that person feel at home or feel comfortable. Now, in this regard, the second point is really important. Listen to me very carefully. This is a really good practice in many organizations. Tag with a mentor. Now, what happens here, once a new employee joins the organization, that person is connected with a senior employee in the organization. And that senior employee will work as the mentor or the guardian to that new employee. Again, the senior employee will work as the mentor or the guardian of the new employee. I'll explain this concept even further. Don't worry about it. Now, I'm sure in the student orientation program of many universities, there is also a mentoring program. So what happens here, the students are connected with a faculty member or maybe a senior in the university, maybe some Apu or Bhaiya in the same department. Now, why this mentoring program? What is the benefit of connecting a new student with a faculty member or a senior? It is to make the life of a new student a little bit easier, because that senior Apu or Bhaiya or even the faculty member can introduce the new student to their department. They can also introduce the new student to the different rules of the university, regulations of the university, right? So the same thing happens in many organizations. What happens here is this. Once you join the organization as a new employee, which is the person on the right here, you are usually tagged with a senior employee in the organization who has some sort of experience working in the office. So maybe this person here is working in the office for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or maybe even more. So this person here is your mentor or guardian. So if you face any problems, you can go to that person and ask for suggestions. So that person will help you in solving the problem or maybe give you suggestions regarding other matters. So that is the purpose of the mentoring program, to help you get acquainted with the office rules, regulations, culture, and norms. Now, if I present you the whole purpose of this mentoring program in a symbolic manner, the best way to do so would be to use these two pictures. So I guess this is self-explanatory, right? So on the left-hand side, we have the new employee who has just been implanted in the organization. And on the right-hand side, this person, I have the mentor. So the mentor's main purpose is to groom the employee, right? To help the new employee grow within the organization. So through suggestions and mentoring programs, that senior person basically helps the new employee to grow within the organization. So yes, this is the major purpose of an orientation program. So what are some of the other purposes of an orientation program? Let's take a look. So we have gone through the first two purposes, which were to make the employee feel welcome and to tag them with a mentor. The next purpose is to make sure the new employee has the basic information to function effectively, such as email access, personnel policies, employee benefits, and so on. So again, I have briefly explained this topic just earlier, so give you the basic information about the company. Now, in this regard, the next point is really important. Introduce the employee handbook. So many organizations have an employee handbook. What is that? It's very easy. It is basically this. So this is a book. Now, what is inside this book? This book basically contains all the company rules, company regulations, company policies in a written format. So again, if you read this book, you will get to know about all the rules and regulations of the company. Now, just to give you an even clearer concept about an employee handbook, I was trying to find out whether as a student, when we joined the orientation program, is there any student handbook for you guys? So I searched over the internet and I found out this handbook, Pharmacy Student Handbook. So this is for the pharmacy department, right? So just to give you a brief snapshot here, what is there in the student handbook? So briefly, if I take a look here, in the table of contents we have about the department, student ethics and conduct, faculty and staff, Bachelor of Pharmacy curriculum, academic standards, policies and procedures, then BRAC University extracurricular activities, and so on. So from here, we can easily say that in the student handbook, we have certain rules and regulations and a brief idea about the department. Similarly, in an employee handbook, you have all the rules and regulations and other important aspects of the company. So if you want to be a good citizen of the organization and want to be a law-abiding employee, you need to stick to those rules and regulations. So yes, till now we have gone through 4 different purposes of an orientation program. Now the last purpose is this: start socializing the person into the firm's culture. So through an orientation program, a new employee can start socializing with the existing employees of an organization. And through that, that new employee can get a feel of the culture of the organization. For example, say you get hired as an employee in GP, so Grameenphone. So for your very first day at office, you go to this beautiful GP house, right? It's really, really wonderful. So on your first day, when you go to the office, you have the orientation program. So on your orientation day, what is going to happen is basically they may give you a brief of the organization. And also they want you to get to know the existing employees of the organization, right? They want you to socialize with the different people throughout the organization. So maybe people from different departments will come to you and will definitely try to make you feel a part of their organization. So yes, the main purpose of orientation is to welcome an employee to a family. So through an orientation program, as a new employee, you are going to be introduced with a family that you are going to work with for the next few years of your life. So yes, we are done with employee orientation. Now from the very next video, I'm going to use this example to explain thoroughly all the different types of trainings that an employee can go through in a given organization. See you very soon in the next video.